Working in psych has taught me things that nursing school never could. Let's talk about it. Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, my name is Grace. I'm a psych nurse with 1.5 years of experience. Well, technically 1 year and 7 months, but I'm gonna just say 1.5 because it sounds better like that. But today's video is gonna be about things that I've learned a year and a half into being a psych nurse. And a little backstory, I work on an inpatient psych unit and I'm a night shift nurse, so that's the perspective I'm going based off of. So if you're interested in psych nursing or you're just curious about the ins and outs of psych nursing, just stay tuned. For number one, the first thing that I learned about being a psych nurse is that you have to be comfortable with the unpredictability of it all, because psych nursing is very unpredictable. There are some shifts where everything's going good, everything's calm, and then out of nowhere, boom, like, somebody's out, like, I need to get out of here right now. Let me out, just causing a scene, being really disruptive, being aggressive, or just whatever the case may be. It can catch you off guard, and you have to be ready for that unpredictability. But that is one of the things that can make it exciting, the fact that it's not like always the same every day, like the fact that there is some spontaneity that makes it exciting. So there's that. Number two, the second thing that I learned being a psych nurse is that it's emotionally draining, but also rewarding at the same time. I would say that this could be said for all nursing specialties, but in the context of psych, it's emotionally draining because sometimes the patients don't even recognize that they're sick. Like when they come in and they're like, nothing's wrong with me, I'm not crazy, I don't need to be here. They can be disrespectful to you. They can, just not be appreciative of the care you're trying to give. They can be aggressive towards you. And it can make you feel like, wow, I'm doing all this. They're not even appreciative of what I'm doing. Like, I feel like, what am I, like all this work for what, But after a while, once they start being compliant with their medications and compliant with the treatment, you'll start to see them get better. And it makes you feel like, okay, this is why I do this. Like they came in, they were like this, and then now they're like this, And sometimes they'll even come to you and they'll be like, I apologize for how I acted before. I feel so much better. I know why I need to take my medicine. And I thank you for like helping me on this journey of getting better. And I'm like, that makes me feel like, wow, this is why I do this. Feels rewarding in that way. The third thing that I learned being in psych is that you can't take everything personally. There's this acronym in psych called QTIP, and it stands for quit taking it personal. And I feel like that really resonates with how you have to, maneuver in psych, because patients will cuss you out. They will call you all types of names. I've been called all types of names and slurs. I've had a drink thrown in my face. Oh my gosh, I've had a drink thrown in my face. Whew, that was one of my tests. That shift tested me the worst. And after a while, you really have to sit back and think, like, it's not the patient, it's the illness. Like it's not about you per se. It's about them needing to get better, them needing to comply with their treatment, and then eventually, this too shall pass. Not to say that you should be a pushover and just be like, okay, they just cussed me out, that's fine. You definitely should have limits and boundaries when those situations occur, because you have to let them know that that's not tolerated. But just to let you know, like, it is something that is, going to probably happen on a regular basis, and you have to have tough skin to deal with that situation. Number four, the fourth thing I learned being a psych nurse is that teamwork is everything, especially on night shift where there are limited resources available and, the psychiatrists aren't physically there in person. You definitely have to rely on your team, like the psych counselors, the security guards, your other nurses, just everyone in general that's there. You have to have good communication with them and be willing to ask for help if necessary. Something I really appreciate about my unit is I feel like when things, escalate, people are always there to have your back. Like, it's not like, what are you gonna do about, but it's more like everybody comes, it's like, all right, what we gonna do? You gonna do this, let's do this, and da-da-da-da, So teamwork is definitely everything. And also not being afraid to ask for advice, because one thing about me, like, I'm still a new grad. Like, I'm gonna ask a question if I have a question, whether it be a second opinion or, advice about what to do about a patient or just, asking somebody, hey, can you make sure you stand outside of this room because I don't know what this patient ought to do. Just making sure that you prioritize teamwork and have good communication with your team is very important in psych, especially. And number 5, the 5th thing that I learned being a psych nurse is that it's okay if you don't use traditional nursing skills. Like sometimes I sit back and I think like, dang, I've never put in an IV before. Is that bad? Like, dang, I've never done this traditional nursing skill before. Is that bad? And sometimes I just have to remind myself that just because I haven't done some of those traditional nursing skills, or I don't have to do them on a regular basis on my unit, that doesn't make me any less of a nurse, and that's perfectly fine. Because in psych, there's a different skill set that you learn, like de-escalation, crisis management, and other skills that take time to master as well that may not be as tangible as other traditional nursing skills. But yeah, psych nursing requires just as much skill and knowledge as any other field. Psych nursing is challenging, it can be draining, but for the right person, it can be just as rewarding. Like, I love my job, even though like you might have watched this video and be like, girl, what the heck? Like, you just told me you got cussed out and all this other stuff. But I do love my job. I think that it's very interesting. I'm very fascinated by, mental health, and I just think that I wouldn't have had it any other way. After 1.5 years of being a psych nurse, I can say that I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning every day. I'm looking forward to learning new things that can make me a better nurse as I go along. All right, y'all, let me know in the comments down below if you would ever become a psych nurse, and if you are a psych nurse already, let me know what's the wildest thing you've ever experienced on the job. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned because I have a lot of stuff coming for y'all. I have a trip coming up, so I'm gonna do some vlogs, I'm gonna do some travel vlogs, and I'm gonna do some lifestyle content. And just stay tuned for more. See y'all in the next video. Bye.